Ready up, ready up.
I have a good feeling, and I'm actually a bit worried now.
Sandro.
Oh,
Okay,
wait.
whatever happens, at least this time I've got my
You shouldn't have a good.
MFD buttons mapped.
Oh,
Oh yeah, true. That is good.
Hopefully today they're gonna change my tires.
Reese, you can't have a good feeling when I'm in the session.
Yeah, now I'm kind of worried, just a bit.
No, it's not bad.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, too much. Yeah.
Oh, same. Fuck's sake. I was 2 seconds up as well. Fuck my life, man. Do a donut. Whoever this is, hopefully I can get out of the way before you get here, which I did.
Something else. Can I unplug?
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Sandra, you did it as well! All three of us did
that
it!
inside curve is suicidal.
I didn't even hit that, I just got on the fall too quickly.
Like I've been a
off the
few
track,
meters
we
out of the
must
pit
go.
lane.
Don't worry about letting me pass, just do laps. At the end of the day, I'm only practicing as well at the moment. I ain't trying to do like quick laps.
No, Sandro,
Wow,
I'm just,
I was,
on
but...
That was on quality fuel.
On quali fuel?
Yeah, but my max fuel, when I run all max fuel, I run at 31.5 on max fuel.
Wait, why are you quicker on higher fuel? What the fuck?
Because I tune on high fuel, I don't tune on low fuel.
He's talking about the fuel mapping.
Ah.
Mate, I'm 6 temps up just from this amazing slipstream.
So do I just have to wait in the lobby until the race starts and will I join?
I have no idea.
Because I can't actually like rejoin the qualifying session.
You should be able to.
Whee!
I
That's
just
what happened.
it says waiting on the.
Was that my fault, Fox? I'm sorry if it was.
Nah, you didn't touch me or anything. It just when you get outside on that corner, like
Yeah,
you're pretty much done.
So anyone else enjoying IMSA a lot more than the F1?
No.
Apparently,
Well, yeah,
Vasilios.
obviously you wouldn't. Obviously you wouldn't, Tim. But no one needs to know about your opinion, Tim, mate.
Oh, fly high. You gotta,
Tim.
run the setup I gave you, man. Watch your fuel. You don't have to set your fuel.
Please get me closer. Oh my god, I'm still far off.
Yo, Wop.
Oh, practice is over?
Alright, so hopefully I'll be able to join when the race starts because now I'm just waiting. In the,
Yeah, you'll be able to. You'll be
Do
able
you mind sending me your setup?
Oh
to. You
shit!
also joined the qualifying. As I remember last time. That happened.
At least I beat Reese.
What the
No,
fuck,
I
Reese?
am not.
Oh,
Tim, what are you doing? You literally saw me.
Ah, you bitch. He's talking about the fuel
Don't click
mapping.
X. No X.
We are running max fuel in quality.
No X. No X, boys. Let's go, no X.
Who's
Right, let's do this. Let's see what kind of lap time I can get. Oh, here we go. Hello, Dion. How you doing, mate?
Hey Reese.
Slipstream Fox, right? On the first sector, just in this track, I was 1.5 seconds up. So fuck that, man.
Maybe you
1.5
just
seconds.
did not hit the wall on that lap.
That is possibly true, actually.
Surprise? No.
I may be a little too close to you, Sandra. You know, that could be a bad thing. But that's okay. I don't give a shit at this point. I'm gonna try anything to get a good lap and get as close as possible to you guys. Here we go. Tasty slipstream. Which was barely anything, which is kind of open the chat. That gained me 0 time. Wow, that is a massive rip in the chat.
Bad time. Bad lap time.
Hit that curb perfectly.
This setup you gave me is too over there. I'm using that one.
Huh?
The setup you gave me is too over there. I'm using that one.
I'll give you another setup. Hold on.
School.
Nah, that's not a good
For
lap.
real? My lap didn't count because I hit the wall.
Yeah.
That's
Yep,
a
fuck
message
you.
chat. Yeah, so just like I put in the text just a minute ago, that's just been shown on screen. Sadly, my mic audio gets completely wiped out for whatever reason. I have no clue. It was working, it was on and everything with when I was recording. I was making sure it was on, I kept checking and it was on and everything. But what made me think it was a little suspicious was when I stopped recording, my mic wasn't moving, like the bar wasn't moving at all. So that's what made me kind of suspicious, and now I've tried going back and editing it. It's happened, and it's kind of one of my best races ever, really, in the IMSA series, and I really liked it. So really annoying that happened, but you know what, we'll just forget about it now, and I'll try and voice over as much as I can. And yeah, so this lap, yeah, it was an improvement. It was a really scruffy lap though, especially at the end, because I have to slow down because I accidentally go off track just a little bit, just a tiny bit, but I had to slow down a little bit, but because I was up so much, I still managed to improve just by a tenth, I think it was. I can't even see, I can just see a little window of my recording this on my screen here, so yeah, it's kind of annoying, but that's the part where I went wide, and I think that's why I had to slow down. Yeah, it was why I had to slow down, so kind of annoying, but yeah, I tried my best. And that's Vasilios there, who was also on a really quick lap as well, but just spun on his final lap as well, so he will start P3. But obviously it's going to be erased this qualifying session, basically because sadly we had to do a grid restart. Well, we had to do a restart of the lobby, so qualifying results doesn't really count. But I thought I'd just leave it in the video because it's still something, you know, just qualifying session we did do. Right, okay, so here we go for the race then. So I actually got to start in pole position, which was pretty good, but it's green lights here in Watkins Glen, so we try and have a good start. We did have a pretty decent start, but Tim was down our inside there. We had to just leave him room, but sadly Tim got punted by someone and he went straight to Sandro, and Sandro went flying. You may have seen in my mirrors. I'll quickly play an instant replay. So yeah, he went completely flying, which gave me a pretty decent lead to start with, because Tim had contact obviously, so he had to back off just a little bit, and I had no contact, just managed to swoop around the outside and luckily keep it clean. But I went a little bit on the grass there, which was not good. And the thing with me is it takes me a little while to get into the rhythm, so it takes me a good few laps, at least 10 sometimes, depending on the track and car. I just literally need to just knuckle down and get used to it, and then once I'm, you know, on a consistent level, I just keep going. So yeah, sadly, you know, I wasn't straight into the game, which was kind of annoying, because Jeremy did start catching me down quite well and really quickly, and you can see him in my mirrors, and I just go completely wide there, and he just gets right around down the outside, and I try and keep the inside line. And I do keep it for a bit, and again I just try and get a good exit, but he keeps it around the outside, and he's still around my outside, so we had a pretty decent battle, me and Jeremy, but he just swoped around the outside there, got more speed. It was a high speed corner, so it worked well for him, and he moved up to P1, and that's me down to P2, even though I'd had a massive advantage really. But yeah, I just wasn't as quick as Jeremy. He was just way too quick. But that wasn't the race over. We had to make sure that Tim didn't get past us, and no one else got past us. We just had to make sure about that. So yeah, but spoiler alert, didn't quite work out that way. Sadly, I did get overtaken, and yeah, I won't spoil too much though, but we tried to keep in Jeremy's slipstream for as much as possible and as long as possible, so I can like just, you know, slipstream him to avoid like Tim or anyone else catching up with me. But then that happens, which really put me off there, and I had to reverse and go back and then try and go forward again, and it didn't quite go to plan, let's just say that. I had a massive advantage, like at the beginning, like I said before, and then Jeremy got past me, and then I just made more mistakes and spun. So yeah, sadly a bit, you know, annoying because I lost second, third, and even fourth to Neek, who's in front of me there. But we're still pretty close to Neek, and we got no damage, luckily. I don't even know how we didn't get any damage, but we got no damage, so I was pretty happy with that. So yeah, we kept pushing on, and I just had to try and keep chasing down Neek, see if I could you know, maybe get a position back after I completely messed it up, really. But we do still have to watch out as well, because there are still some people behind us, one being Dion, who also I think ran into a problem at the beginning. I'm not too sure. So yeah, we had to watch out for him, because he was really quick. He was like really quick in this race. But we're in the slipstream of Neek here, so we're slipstreaming him as much as possible. And yeah, that was Sandra and Facilios in the pits, I think, and maybe Rob as well. I couldn't quite see there, but they got massive damage, so they had to. Obviously, Sandra flipped, but we did get past Neek. We went down the inside, but he is on our outside, so we need to leave the space. But now it's a corner, high-speed corner, where, you know, it's good to just go pretty much flat out. And I think I did as well there. I'm not too sure. You can go flat out normal, but I think I may have just backed off just a little bit, just to leave Neek more space. But we did get past Neek and up to fourth, and Dion is now battling Neek as well, I think, or it was Fox, one of them. But yeah, we need to watch out for them as well, because we got past Neek luckily, because Neek was struggling so much in this race. So we got past him nice and quickly, and had a bit of an advantage on Fox. So that was pretty good. But Fox, again, he was just another quick one on an absolute banger on this race, and he was just chasing me down so much, as you can see in my mirrors. And at first I thought it was Dion, but it was actually a Fox, because I was getting so confused with the headlights. So I don't know why I had them on at this stage of the race. It's not nighttime yet, so yeah. But there's another mistake. We went just a little bit wide, and I started getting, you know, worried about him diving down the inside, and I go a little wide, and yes, he does dive down the inside and makes a move up on me, and that's me down to fifth and him up to fourth. So yeah, that was not ideal. We just messed that up completely, really. And like I said, took me quite a while to get into the rhythm of the race, because I'm never one of these guys who literally jumps into a race and I'm straight away like bang on it on the pace. It takes me a few laps to get up to there, and then once I'm up to there, I'm a bit quicker. I mean, these guys are still really competitive, so it's difficult to race them sometimes, because they're just so good. But you know, I'm just trying to slipstream Fox now and stay near him, so again, no one else can have a chance on me. But obviously, it's easier said than done, especially when he's a faster car and he's just absolutely going for it, and he hits the grass just a little bit there, and that's where I thought he was going to spin, but he actually didn't. So I'm pretty surprised about that. But yeah, he just is just pulling away really now at this point. Another battle that is going to commence in a sec is behind me is Dion, who's absolutely just flying at this point. Even though he ran into a problem at the beginning, he was behind me, and my only way that I could really stay secure was to get past the guy in front of me, which I can't see who it is. I think it's Sandro though. So yeah, I had to just keep pushing to make sure I didn't have to battle Dion too much, and you know, I was just trying to stay away really. But no, it was Tim that was ahead of me. So yeah, he pitted, and he came out ahead of me after I you know, I spun, and he had enough time to make a pit stop on me and stuff like that. So it was quite difficult, but we were trying to chase down Tim whilst Dion was chasing us down. So yeah, it was kind of a bit complicated at this point, and at this point I'm starting to get more in the rhythm with it. I mean, I'm still making a few mistakes, especially when I'm battling. So yeah, when Dion is catching me and stuff, I started making more mistakes, because I knew he was catching me, and I knew he was going to get past me pretty quickly when he caught up. So yeah, I was just trying my best to keep the distance, but yeah, he was just on a complete different level really, and I was still trying to chase down Tim and stuff like that, and it was, yeah, it's difficult. So yeah, Dion is really close to us now, just chased us down like really quickly. He's right behind us on our mirrors right now, so we need to kind of just defend it as much as possible and try and make sure Dion doesn't get past us, but we're also still trying to attack Tim. But Dion's gained so much time on me, and I went wide there a little bit, which wasn't ideal when luckily Dion again didn't try anything down the outside. But yeah, Tim spun here, which was quite lucky for me and Dion because we both made a position, and none of us went into him. Luckily we just saw him at the last point. I remember just thinking, oh damn, this is it, I'm gonna ruin here, but luckily didn't. So yeah, we just kept pushing on. Now we got a threat from Dion, who's looking to try and slipstream me here, and he is trying to slipstream me really well there, but luckily he just doesn't have enough speed down the straight, enough time. But I go massively wide there, which causes me to get a notification saying I need to slow down. And at this point I'm just like, okay, so I just slow down here for I don't even know why. I honestly don't even know why. And yeah, Dion gets past me, so it's kind of annoying. But I kind of tried to do it, to be fair, to hopefully get Dion to slow down as well, and maybe just stay behind me so he wouldn't overtake me, and then I could actually have a proper battle. But then after that, I just go on the grass and spin, and that's my second spin of the race, I guess. So yeah, this race at the moment for me is going way down the toilet, and even Sandro, he just gets past me, and he's a lap down though, so it's okay. It's not too much of a problem. Alright, so yeah, I decided at this point I was going to pit just so I can have new softs, because mine started feeling quite bad and I started making a few more mistakes just like there, just sliding just a little bit than what I want to. I mean, they're not too bad, like as you can see they're all white, but I thought I'd pit anyway just in case. And also my strategy is to pit onto softs and then pit again just before it goes to night, and then I'll have warm tyres through the night, warm softs I should say, so they should be alright. So yeah, that's my plan, but again, I don't know how it's going to go. So yeah, hopefully the stop is pretty quick, so it shouldn't be too bad. So yeah, Dion starts to catch me again after he pitted, and I somehow managed to jump him. I have no clue how, but yeah, he started to catch me down again, once again, and he's actually on hard, so yeah, he was doing really well to catch me up, and when I'm on softs. So yeah, he like I said, he was flying through this race, and he's just pushing as much as possible. And again, I go wide, and this time it was really wide, and he got a hell of a lot closer to me than what he already was. Luckily again, he didn't try anything around the outside or down the inside, so I had a chance to try and redeem myself and battle back a bit more. But I don't know how long I could last, and I just kept pushing and, you know, trying to defend as much as possible, hoping I wasn't going to make any more mistakes, because obviously that's my life in a nutshell really. But he slipstreams me down the straight, and then I turned to the outside because I didn't think he was going to try and move, and he didn't, thankfully. But then he did look again, and then he backed off, then looked again, but luckily decided not to do it, thank God for that. And we just managed to not go wide this time and get a notification to slow down, so we just kept pushing on. And again, he tried slipstreaming me through this straight, and next is the chicane, so yeah, we need to watch out for this, because the chicane is one of my worst parts of this track. And luckily he didn't take it too badly there, but Dion took it a hell of a lot better, obviously, as you can see, because he's right on my tail now once again, and looking to try and make a move, and he does look for the outside there, but I just put my car right in the position where he was going to try it, and I blocked him off basically, so he didn't, thankfully. And this is finally good battling, where I'm not going to get absolutely destroyed, or hopefully not make a mistake. But obviously it's me that we're talking about here, so I do also need to be careful and make sure that I don't make that valuable mistake. And once again, yes, I do make that mistake, and this time it's so bad that he gets past me, and gets a good exit obviously, and gets a bit of a gap, so I don't even have a chance to battle back, and almost spun there. So yeah, that was not great, not an ideal moment in my racing career. It was kind of annoying, to be fair, that I kept making mistakes like that. It was just that one corner I kept going wide, especially when I was under pressure from battling. It was just one that I always make a mistake on. But I did jump Fox there, I think that was because he pitted, I think that was, or I didn't jump him because I don't know, I can't even see the time boards, but I'm pretty sure I did there because he pitted, and you know, he hadn't pitted up until that point, so managed to jump him luckily. But I was trying to again keep in the slipstream of Dion so I could you know, just glide along and slipstream so no one else can try and catch me. And I was just checking my tyre pressures and tyre warmth and wear and stuff like that on the other board there, on the other HUD I should say. So yeah, and everything's looking good at the moment, so we'll just keep pushing on and see if we can try and make more moves, I guess. So here Tim actually pits, and he runs into a major problem which kind of ruined his race, and he even had to retire because of it. But he couldn't actually refuel his car. He kept going into the pits trying to refuel, and he said it alright and everything, but it wouldn't refuel. So I kind of got lucky there, so I did get an extra position as I get a notification to say I had to slow down because I went a bit wide there. So I got kind of lucky there that I didn't you know, he had problems with his pits and stuff like that, so he had to keep hitting until eventually he literally just gave up, and he couldn't, you know, he pitted so many times and he was like getting dead last, and then he just decided to retire because he ran out of fuel eventually. So yeah, it was a bit annoying for him, but that was an extra place for me, so I ain't gonna complain too much. So yeah, and we're just gonna keep pushing on and see if we can maybe make up some more positions. So now at this point, Rob also pits just a few minutes later because he had problems with Vasilios and everyone else and got damaged. So there, as you can see, he has damage and he's just slowing down and he's going to pit. So we did move up to 4th at this point, which is another position made. And like I said, I'm picking up the pieces here pretty much, and it's working really well. I'm staying consistent. That's you know, I'm not really having any chance of battling. I would like to, but you know, it makes it more interesting instead of just driving around for like an hour straight. But you know, it's at the moment just staying consistent, which is like endurance racing is. You know, that's what it is. You just gotta stay consistent, stay out of trouble, and you're right, which somehow I'm doing at the moment, which is great. I mean, apart from a little spin, well, 2 spins I should say, it hasn't been too bad. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep pushing on, but up to P4 then. But the next top 3 are just so quick, as I almost lose the back end and just completely spin it, which wouldn't have been ideal. But yeah, the top 3 are just way too quick, so I don't think I'm going to catch them, but I'm just going to keep pushing anyway. I never say never, who knows, I may be able to pull something out, but at the moment I am just doing laps. So this point is quite important for later, so I decided to pit right now when it's still sunny and still daytime sort of thing, just before it gets into night when it gets really cold. So I decided to pit now, and that's for the fact that I'm pitting onto softs, just like I said before. I'm pitting onto softs, so by the time it gets to night and it gets quite cold, my softs will be up to optimal temperature or pretty good temperature, and then I can just go around, do laps and stay consistent and stay at a good pace. I mean, there may be a bit of worn coming to the end of the race, but it'll be good because I'll be quicker than everyone else, which is the mistake everyone else actually makes when they pit for softs or hards at the night. And I did this in Daytona and I completely messed up my race, and you know, you just keep spinning, you get damage and stuff like that, and you have to keep pitting, and they never really fully warm up. You need to make sure you pit just before it gets to night, like I've done today, and yeah, it works out really well, and I just go back out and start doing consistent laps, which is key, and I think this is where I make my time back basically. So yeah, this is where it gets more interesting because it's now night and Dion didn't pit and change over to softs from his hard tyres until it got night. So when he did pit, he pitted and he came out literally pretty much this distance in front of me, and obviously he's on cold softs right now, and this is what I meant about me pitting just before it got to night. My softs optimal temperature, as you can see, they're not too worn, they're pretty decent. I mean, a little bit off, but all in all they're pretty decent, much better than what Dion's are, where they're not worn at all, but they're just completely cold, so it's a struggle. So you might notice that I am actually gaining time on him, and this is Dion, who at the beginning of the race and mid-race and stuff like that, all race he's been so quick. Even now he's doing well against me on those cold tyres. So yeah, this is where it gets interesting, because this is for a podium as well. This is for 3rd place, and he actually messes up a little bit there on the exit and just loses it back in and goes into the barrier a little bit. And now he's doing basically what I did at the beginning of the race against him, making a few mistakes, and that's where it's that's where he's losing it at the moment. And now I'm really close, and I thought I was going to go wide there, so I kind of backed off, but yeah, luckily didn't. And now we have the straight, and I don't get the best of exits, which is a shame. I kind of messed up through that last set there. And there's my teammate Vasilios, who's actually about to lap us, and he's in 1st. He went from 0 to hero basically, because he had a massive contact at the beginning. But then there's Dion, who spins and crashes into the barrier and destroys his front bumper and his headlights. So he actually has completely just given the position to me. I mean, I feel quite bad for him in that case, because he really deserved that podium. He was doing so well all race, and just because of the bad strategy of pitting in the night for softs, no matter what tyre, even if it's the softest compound, if you pit on it in the night, it's going to take ages to warm up. I mean, it might eventually, but it's going to take ages, and it's possibly not worth it. And I think that's what saved me and this race really, for me getting a good result, was the fact that I pitted onto brand new softs just before we got to night, and they lasted, so it worked. So yeah, now at this point I was telling Vasilios, so I'll just let him through, but he was telling me to draft him and give him slipstream, because he's running lean anyway. Because I know he's quicker than me, and at the moment this is a good result because he's my teammate, so it would be a 1-3, which is really something that does happen in this race. You won't be able to hear it. I mean, there is some game audio you could possibly just hear, and there is some voice audio in the party, but you can't just hear my voice, so I've just turned it down a bit. But something that does happen that you may be able to hear but possibly not is that Jeremy actually goes into Dion when Dion is trying to nurse his car back to the pits after his damage. And the problem is he went into him because Dion was going slowly into around corners and just nursing the car in, basically, like I said, and because his headlights got taken out from the crash, he was going slowly and then spun from damage as well. And because he had no headlights or lights or anything, Jeremy went straight into him and got massive damage. So that meant Jeremy had to pit. As you can see, he's just pitted now on the time boards. And at this point I decided to let Vasilios pass, and also I half spin, which wasn't ideal. I'm pretty sure I wasn't meant to let Vasilios pass there. I just accidentally spun. And Fox is trying to battle there. He's a lap car, but you know, a little bit of battle is never hurts anyone unless it ruins my race, but it didn't, luckily. So yeah, Jeremy, like I was saying, he got massive damage. I had to pit. And then he got, I think, a problem with his pit lane, and for whatever reason the pit box he couldn't leave for a few seconds, so that pushed me up to P2, which was quite remarkable. I was just thinking, how have I gone from hero to 0 to hero again? I do not even know. So at this point it's gonna be a 1-2 for high class racing. Or for me and Vasilios, which is an incredible result, especially that the last two IMSA races, or as it's called now, the LMP2 Endurance races, I've done pretty bad on. Not gonna lie, Daytona was going good, but then I kind of messed up, did kind of what Dion did with pitting onto hards, which was ridiculous in the night, which yeah, that obviously didn't work, and then I just went into the back of Sandra and it went downhill from there, and Sonoma was just bad all the way, so yeah, that was that did not go my way either, so that was kind of a shame. And this is a good point to turn it around. I'm so happy that, you know, we actually got quite lucky in this race. I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I deserved it. I definitely think people like Jeremy, Vasilios definitely, who's winning at the moment, so he's alright, but Jeremy, Rob, Fox, Dion, pretty much everyone in this race kind of deserved a chance. But me, I just kind of stayed out of trouble always. I mean, apart from 2 spins, it's, you know, I didn't have any other problems. I didn't have any glitches with pit lane like Fox did as well, and Jeremy. I didn't have any problems like that, but Vasilios actually pits there because he's nearly out of fuel. But he can do that because he's like a lap ahead of me anyway, so it doesn't matter. So I'm the only one that Vasilios technically isn't going to lap, which is pretty cool. So it's going to be a high class racing 1-2 at the moment if everything goes to plan. And also I didn't get lapped on my teammates, so that's I guess that's pretty cool, I guess, as well. So yeah, but I just need to hold on really at this point. Night racing I'm not too great at, as you know, in Sonoma. After I just completely turned into the tyre walls by mistake, so I just need to hold on and just hope these tyres do not give way, or I don't make a stupid mistake and get major damage or anything, because Jeremy can still catch me. I mean, he can still catch me. He's not too far behind. You may just be able to see him on the mini-map when I'm coming around here, but yeah, he's a pretty good distance away, and if I keep up the pace and don't make any mistakes, I'll be fine. So yeah, but we'll just keep pushing on. Coming around the final corner now, and it looks like I'm going to cross the line just before the timer runs out, so I will have to do one last lap, which at the time I was kind of hoping I didn't have to do, because you know, it's one extra lap that I could mess up, and then I could be down the grid, just like other people have messed up throughout the race. You know, they got super unlucky, so I was hoping I wouldn't do that. But yeah, in the time that from last time I was commentating, sadly Jeremy went into Vasilios and he got massive damage and he retired. He was catching me, but I don't think he would have catched me in time even if he didn't have that contact, but he retired anyway, so he lost third, and Fox is going to get third at the moment. So yeah, but I'm just going to keep pushing on and hopefully do not completely mess it up, which at one point throughout this lap I think I do almost mess up, and I actually just kind of sort of just jumped a little bit, which yeah, almost ruined the whole race for me, and that almost caused even more problems. And then Foxboy would have got a second then. He was actually hoping that I would crash, obviously, because he wanted to get second. But I think it was through here I almost just completely spun, just caught there just a little bit, and I think it was up here though I almost completely spin, and I just panicked a little bit. Yeah, there it was just the back end kicking out a little bit, and I think same through here as well. I just take it a little bit extra slowly because I don't need to take risks, as you know. But I come around the final corner, and just as I get on the straight, I realise I have actually done it, and I have finished P2 in the endurance race. I was so happy, and yeah, good race. Best result in IMSA, the LMP2 Endurance racing series, and I'm super happy. And just to finish it off, I hit a face spin, so yeah, and I do a few donuts as well. Not very good ones, but yeah, just did a few donuts. So yeah. Alright guys, so there is the results then. P2, it's also a high class racing finish, 1-2 finish I should say. So that's great. I'm really happy with that. You know, me and Vasilios did really well. Somehow I got super lucky and Vasilios fought his way all the way back up after having problems on lap 1. But I'm going to leave this video here. If you enjoyed this video, then make sure to like and subscribe. But thank you for watching, and goodbye.